Hello everyone, happy Easter to you. Easter 2020 is quite unlike any other Easter that we've ever experienced, and so we will feel quite challenged at this time about how to live with all these restrictions and all these challenges around. Let's keep praying for each other, praying with each other, and connecting with those that we need to reach out to at this time, and do remember that daily during the week, Monday to Friday, we're doing morning prayer at 9 o'clock on Zoom. Do join in with that as a good part of us having some sort of rhythm together at this time. There will, of course, be all sorts of other things happening. I was reminded earlier on today of a Frederick Buechner quote that I picked up years ago, where he says, the resurrection of Christ means that the worst thing is never the last thing. The resurrection of Christ means that the worst thing is never the last thing. This feels like a time of worst things, doesn't it? Worst things in terms of our economy, in terms of our health and well-being, in terms of the numbers of death this horrible thing is causing, the amount of threat and fear that's being kind of around and stuff. It just feels like a worse thing. And of course, the great hope that we have as followers of Jesus is that what seems like the worst thing is not the last thing. Jesus seemingly experienced the worst thing on the cross, and you know, just think about his disciples so traumatized and shocked and so badly affected by the loss of their friend, their companion, their leader. And yet 3 days later he appeared to them, the resurrected Jesus, showing that the worst thing was not the last thing. And so we live as those kinds of resurrection people. I encourage you to see yourself very much as a resurrection person, a person who brings that same hope to a world that is experiencing very much a worst thing at the moment. And as we live as resurrection people, so it's like kind of what we do is we turn our backs to the cross. It's not that we leave the cross behind. Worse things have happened. That worst thing has happened, but we stand as people whose backs are to the cross, and we're looking forward. We're looking forward, Jesus, because Jesus is moving. He is showing us how to live. He is, like he did to those first disciples, appearing and leading and guiding. And he does that today by the power of the Holy Spirit. And so we live as resurrection people. We live a resurrection life. We know that the worst thing is not the last thing, that death has been defeated, and that death no longer has the last word. And that's the hope that we share with the world around us, and we do that lovingly, sensitively, with care and thoughtfulness, but we live as people of the resurrection. Happy Easter 2020 to you all.